One of my favorite sayings is, the more you measure something, the better it gets. Think about that for a second. Think about all the times you've had a worry and you've focused on every minuscule, tiny detail of that worry. You measured it and measured it and measured it until you arrived at whatever it was you were worried with. Same thing goes for delusional self-belief. It really is one of the main key ingredients to any type of success in this world. And because of the new year and how wild of a ride 2020 was, I think one of the key things that we need to really hone in on coming into 2021 is mastery over the mind. And the way to do that is to focus solely on the things that you want and to fight the urge to slip back into those habitual thought processes that usually aren't in our best interest. So that's what we're discussing today. Click it. Hello and welcome to Clarity Couture. My name is Lindsay and I'm so grateful that you've taken the time to click in and share this space with me. So 2020, let's just take a deep breath really quick and breathe that bitch out of us. You know what I'm saying? Just hold that there for a minute. And now when you exhale, let's just exhale all the worries that you've been holding on to. Man, it's been a year. It has been a year. It's been a year of weirdness and masks and Hollywood agenda. I'll avoid getting too political there, and I'll just focus on the good things. And one of my favorite things that's come out of 2020 is the fact that you can make an appointment with the DMV online and handle the majority of your things with the DMV online. That's really cool. I'm really grateful for that. Another thing that I've seen come through is there are online banks that are happening. You're able to apply for a new phone instead of having to go into the store and do all of that. There are a lot of things that have come from 2020 that actually have helped move our world forward, and I think it's really important to focus on the things that we may perceive as good instead of continually focusing on the things that we perceive as negative, because remember, everything, no matter what it is that you're looking at, just is. And the identification of good or bad is based solely on you and your own perspective, where you're coming from in that perspective, and how you truly choose to see the world. I think it was Ben Franklin. Someone please comment and correct me if I'm wrong. But he said, how you choose to see the world defines the reality you'll live basis. So if you think that you live in a hostile world, that's what you'll get. If you think that you live in a loving, unconditional world, that's what you'll get. And it's important to really take stock in the things that the great minds of our past have said, because the majority of them, there's a running theme, law of attraction and the like. So it is really important, again, to measure things, because the more you measure, the better it gets, or the more intense it gets, I guess you could say, depending on how you choose to view what it is you're measuring, right? Because if we focus too much on the things we don't want, we get those. And if we've been focusing on them, well, it's kind of like measuring them, right? So I'd like you guys just to take a second to recognize that my hair is it's just doing its own thing. So we're gonna let that be part of this new alignment, if you will, in regards to accepting and adapting. So my hair was doing crazy things and I just threw it in a little ponytail. It looks like I have a little doggy ear. I point that out because as a content creator who is OCD about the hair being exactly right and the makeup being exactly right, I can tell that this is a little off. And for someone who would use these things as excuses not to film, I'm recognizing my own growth, and then I'm just like, whoop, fuck it. I just threw it in. It's fine. So if you've noticed any of those little shifts from this year, do one of these, okay? Just do one of those, because it's really easy to focus on all the bad. But if you can look through the perspective, and go, well, this would have made me lose my shit, but now I kind of laugh at something like that, you've grown in a way that you can't buy. It takes a certain type of life experience to give you that growth. So congratulations. So today, to prep for 2021, just a side note, for the past 3 or 4 New Years in a row, probably more than that actually, at least since 2017, every New Year I have stayed home, chosen to be alone, because that's my time to really align my vision and where I want to go. And if you're someone who is unable to be around your family, or you're going through something where people were in your life and you're no longer in your life, you have a choice on New Year's Eve to make a choice and do something that you've probably done every year, which is go out and party, or use the pandemic as an excuse to go out and party, or whatever it may be. You have a choice to make a plan that's going to actively push your needle forward in where you want to go. And if we've learned anything, it's that this world isn't going to stop for us to really catch on. And there are those who have thrived through things this last year. I wouldn't say I thrived, but I definitely found growth where I could have felt very sorry for myself, as a lot of people, I'm sure, chose growth, so it's a personal choice that you have to make for yourself. But when you look back and you really measure, how many years in a row in New Year's have I gone out and partied, or done this, or drank, or whatever it may be, and what did that do to move my needle even further forward towards my goals and where I want it to be? So what I'm gonna have you do is I'm gonna have you grab a notebook, and I want you to put some music on. I like chill steps. Like I don't know if you guys can, I'm sure you can hear my 432 frequency. I always have those playing. Those are something that just honestly keep me calm. It's just something that my mind needs. But I also like chill step, lo-fi chill step on YouTube. You can literally type it into the search. And so you want to put your phone, I should find your phone. I think my phone's away from me. Put your phone on a timer for 5 minutes. And what you're going to do is you're going to jot down everything it is that you want. Big or small, it doesn't matter. I just want you to get creative and get those creative juices flowing. And what you're going to do with this is you're going to not box yourself in. There's no ceiling here, and we'll talk about that in a second. But what you're going to do is you're just going to kind of step into that inner child of yourself and get excited about the possibilities of the things that you can bring into your life in 2021. Because if you look around, everything's kind of up in the air right now, right? So we have a choice to box ourselves in, expect the worst case scenario, and then focus on that so much solely that as a collective we bring that to fruition. Or we can recognize the fact that, wow, a lot of the things that we're seeing in the world right now, put aside everybody that we believe caused that, as a collective, a lot of these thought processes have transferred into reality. And if you can just take that and run with that and make your decisions about you and your happiness and where your flow is, 2021 isn't going to seem so looming, but instead it'll be an exciting surprise, right? It's about to be your birthday, and your best friends are just crazy. They love throwing parties, and they're all whispering, and they've been whispering for a week, a month they've been whispering, and you just know. You know that they're going to do something fucked up. It's going to be embarrassing. You're going to be in public. You love them for it, and you'd definitely be disappointed if it didn't happen. And then, of course, it happens because it's what you're just expecting it, right? The self-belief that it's going to happen, and then boom, it happens, right? So this is going to train your mind, that mastery over your monkey mind, to see and expect miracles and positivity and growth in a way that is unencompassed by a box that you've placed yourself in, because you're so excited about the possibility of what it could be. Just adhere to beginner's mind. And if you're somebody that is super realistic with yourself, like I've found that I have been the last couple months, you will put a ceiling over yourself and cause abundance blockages, loss of friendship, things like that, because there are expectations, and our reality can only always adapt to favor the belief system and the expectations that we carry. So you're going to grab a notebook. You're going to jot down every single thing you want, no matter how big or small. And you're going to do that for 5 minutes. It's going to go to the next screen. Just unpause, when you're done with the 5 minutes, okay? Alright, so your 5 minutes should be over. If you wanted to write a little bit longer and you did, that's totally awesome. Sometimes I get into the flow state and like I literally just write for a while and then I'm like, whoa, I feel much better and I feel more aligned and I'm excited about the things that I can bring in. So that should be how you're feeling right now, is just really in a flow state of like alignment and excitement for what this year is going to bring and how strong you are and how much you've already gotten through. And so no matter what happens, you're going to get through the next thing too, right? It's who you are. So now what I want you to do is I want you to write out your current mindset, where you are right now, right? Where is your default mode when you wake up in the morning? Do you expect it to be a good day, or do you expect to have to deal with some bullshit? And then go a step further if you can. Like, if you expect to deal with some bullshit, list out why you expect to deal with said bullshit. If you have a job that requires you to deal with the public every single day, and you're required to deal with people, and so every day you're going to work and going out, expecting to deal with some sort of bullshit, you can also expect that you're going to bring that reality to fruition. So it's really good to take stock of where you are right now and don't beat yourself up, because this has been a rough year for everybody, and even my own mindset has shifted to a place of uncomfortability in regards to my alignment, because I've been focused on things that my higher self isn't focused on, and that's why it feels uncomfortable to me, and it's probably why a lot of others are feeling uncomfortable. And so it's okay to be like, oh shit, I've really kind of shifted out of where I was, like in January, I'm ready, I'm gonna do this, and in February I'm going to school and it's all good, and I move out to Vegas and everything's great. And like a really nice friend of mine said, could be walking in the grocery store and somebody just punches you in the face. Like, how are you gonna react to it? Are you gonna recover, or are you gonna lay there and complain for 6 months as somebody punched you in the face in the grocery store? Like, we don't have time to lay there and complain. We don't have time to point the finger. Shit's gonna happen. How are you gonna handle it? And so when you write down where your current mindset is, it allows you to align to a mindset that's gonna help you move the needle forward and get you to where you really want to be, right? So after you've written down the mindset, and again, I'm not gonna keep doing special screens, just pause me, okay? just pause me. I'll be here when you get back. I want you to write out your top 5 current choices every day. And I say 5, but I showed you 10. So 5 to 10. If you're in the flow state and you can do up to 10, great. You can only do 5, that's okay too. Because sometimes it's really hard when we're always going, we're going. And then we get into this very hyper aware, I think it's hypersensitivity, but like towards self, when you're doing this and you're just like, whoa, and it's kind of overwhelming because you've been here, you've been there. So what we want to do now is write 5 to 10 of your daily choices. This is the habitual things you do every single day. You get out of bed, take a shower. You get out of bed, you go downstairs and you drink some warm lemon water. You get out of bed, you go take a number 2. I don't know, whatever it is for you, write down all of the choices, 5 to 10 of the consistent choices that you do every day, okay? Now, go ahead and pause me while you do that. What I want you to do after you write down 5 to 10 choices is I want you to write down and be honest with yourself, looking over everything. Is the daily routine that you have working towards what you want for 2021, or is it working against that? The whole key of this video is to shift your routine to what will help you move that needle forward in the upcoming year to really get the things that you want. And I really just want to shout out to my friend who helped me realize, because of my past things that I've dealt with this last couple months, by being punched in the grocery store moment, if you will. By talking with me, I was able to see how I had really put a box on myself. And because I put a box on myself, those expectations of who I was, the things that have happened, so must be how I need to react, like, no. This is that fucking Frozen song, Let It Go? Yeah, let that shit go. Let it go, because if it holds you down, if it makes you feel less than, if it gives you a tinge of unhappiness, it is pushing your needle away from where you want to be, because your higher self isn't over there. Your higher self doesn't feel like that. Your higher self doesn't feel that sad and upset. You do, because you're focusing and shifting on the things that don't matter. So if I can just share and give you anything as the last video before 2020 is over, that is to hopefully find what it is that you're really working towards, to align yourself to what it is you want. Because so many of us go through life in this misaligned idealism of who we're supposed to be, and we lose ourselves on the way to whatever we think that is. And 2020 showed any of us anything, it's that has to be shed so that we really can come into who we are. So I hope that this will help you move your needle forward. Let's get into the affirmation. All right, I mean, I have to take advantage of this. So today's affirmation is, I let it go, I let it flow. It is what it is, I allow it to be. I let it go, I let it flow. It is what it is, and I allow it to be. I let it go, I let it flow. It is what it is, and I allow it to be. And remember that you guys have the ability to let things go the minute that you stop identifying with them. And I guess we're gonna have to do a couple more videos about what it means to identify with something and how to really let go of that. But the gist of it is, if it doesn't make you feel good, don't look at it. It seems to be that people think that good things, right? That perspective is somewhere, at some point we've lost it, but there is an abundance of goodness and there is abundance of beauty in our world. And when you choose to look at it, right, and find that beauty and that gratitude for where you are and just say thank you, that's like kind of taking off that piece of yourself where you've been holding on to. So get into gratitude. Remember that your body is a vehicle for your soul, so it's really important for you guys to drive yourselves well. And remember that you are loved and you are worthy. I love you guys. Namaste. Oh yeah, Happy New Year.